It's your girl, Aries baby. You know that one meme of Kiki Palmer and Megan the Stallion when she's like, I know it ain't the stallion. And then Megan's like, I know that's not who I think it is. And Kiki goes, It's your girl. That plays in my head random as fuck all the time. But welcome back. Sorry, that was just like a little tangent. Welcome back. I just feel like I never know how to start these, but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to be here. I'm always glad to be talking about astrology. You can ask anybody that knows me. And we're back with a video I've been waiting to do for some time. And that's just because I'm here to talk about Aries season, baby. Y'all already know I'm an Aries, so my birthday's coming up. It's like weird. I feel like I'm excited, but also like that's crazy aging, you know? But I feel like Aries season is always so fun. We bring the energy, we start the new year, the new astrological calendar, and we just get everybody so excited for the summertime. It's spring, like it's nice outside, starting to get warmer. I just feel like when the sun's out, everything feels so much better. And I will stand on that opinion forever, I think. But welcome back. Like I said, we're here to talk about Aries season. And I basically just wanted to go through what's going to happen throughout the entirety of Aries season and to prepare y'all what is next. So I actually just posted a video about the full moon lunar eclipse. So if you haven't watched that one yet, you should check that one out first. Obviously, because it talks about everything leading into Aries season. We have the full moon lunar eclipse on the 14th. We have Mercury going retrograde on the 15th. We're already in Venus retrograde. Saturn and Uranus are all there shaking things up for us. And I just feel like there's a lot of anticipation in the air. And with Aries season coming, we are just so ready to act on that energy. And I just feel like that is like the most productive time for me. As y'all know, I'm a Scorpio rising. I have said this time and time again, but I have Aries in my sixth house, which is literally my house of routine. So it's a very productive season for me. And I always look forward to Aries season, mostly because of my birthday, and it's warm out, and, it's a productive time for me. So we start Aries season this year on March 20th. It's a Thursday. It's about a week from now. And when the sun is in Aries, we're all about taking action. We're a little bit focused on standing out and showing our individual side, which is always nice. Self-expression is very high. We have like a burst of energy. And, the sun just loves being in Aries. Loves it, So I think it's just like a really powerful time because the sun feels so comfortable in this sign. Like Aries is a fire sign, the same way that the sun rules over Leo, which is also a fire sign. But the sun is actually exalted in Aries, and that's what I mean by saying that it's very comfortable there. So yes, we have new beginnings, but we also have like a new sense of confidence, sense of self, and we're a little bit more assertive. Aries risings, this is your season to show out and just show the world who you really are. I'm excited for y'all. I think that it's always nice when the sun is in your rising sign because there's like this extra level of confidence when it comes to just showcasing your personality a little bit. And that's what Aries risings have to look forward to with the sun moving into Aries. We do have Cancer risings too, focused on the career a little bit. This will illuminate your career aspect of life right now, whether that's getting recognition for a project that you're working on, or maybe talking to a boss about some kind of promotion. Like right now you're really in the limelight when it comes to your career, and you need to like lean into that a little bit. Leo risings, y'all are experiencing the sun transiting your ninth house, which is like the house of philosophy, higher education, just how we feel connected to the world on a larger level. And Leos, I think that it's really important for y'all to just really think about what your morals are. And I think that this will guide you going in to the next season too, when your 10th house will be a little bit more in the limelight. Libra risings are experiencing this in their 7th house of relationships. And it's interesting too, because like I said, Venus and Mercury are both in Aries as well. So with this all in your 7th house, you're going to experience a lot of change within your relationships, good and bad. I feel like overall, this is going to show you which relationships are not really doing much for you. Like, why are you in these relationships if you're not getting any kind of benefit from it? If someone is just taking and taking, then that's just not a relationship that you should be in. And Libras are really going to face that during Aries season. Sagittarius risings are experiencing this in their 5th house of self-expression. So maybe you'll want to start a new creative project or find some kind of way to express yourself authentically. Capricorn risings, y'all are a little bit more focused on your home life right now. You may experience wanting to like redecorate or maybe moving or maybe something with your family or your familial relationships, like something being highlighted within your familial relationships to just kind of showing you people's true colors, but also how you're going to decide to move forward. And it's a little bit more of a quiet time for everybody else, unfortunately. It just depends on what planets you have too, but based on rising signs, it's technically a more quiet time for y'all. So then right after the sun goes into Aries, we have Vesta, which is an asteroid, going retrograde in Pisces. So what does that mean? Basically, right now, we're feeling like we need to work behind the scenes a little bit. Vesta is all about understanding your purpose. And so we understand that we can find the deepest sense of self through our creativity or spirituality or faith, whatever it is that helps keep you grounded. I think it's really important to have those kind of hobbies that just, make you feel like yourself. And with Vesta going retrograde in Pisces, we're really going to want to focus on that. This is also a really transformative time for like familial relationships. And we also may feel like we don't really want to commit to one thing. Just depends, like I said, what house you're experiencing this in. But for me, I have Pisces in my 5th house, so I might have a difficult time committing to a creative project or some kind of thing that helps me express myself authentically. But it's also really important that we explore our motivations and our passions more deeply to truly understand what it is that will make us happy overall. After Vesta goes retrograde, we already have Venus in retrograde, but girls like, yeah, I'm going to retrograde so hard that I'm just going to go back into Pisces. And I feel like this will shake up relationships just a little bit because we're going from Aries, which is very blunt, straight to the point, go-getter energy, to Pisces, which is like almost the complete opposite, where you're a little bit more reserved, emotional, take your time to like figure things out because you're so introspective. You just cannot make a decision. You got to think. Pisces is a mutable sign too. So I think with Venus going retrograde in Pisces, this is just going to make relationships feel so much more difficult than they need to be, unfortunately. But just know that these lessons that you're learning from Venus retrograde are for good reason. And it's okay to be introspective and reflect on what's best for us. I think too, right now with Venus and Aries is really shaking up the foundations of our relationship. And then when Venus retrogrades back into Pisces, it'll actually give us the opportunity to like heal and integrate the lessons that we learned from Aries, basically. I think, too, there'll be a little bit of a level of uncertainty or like shyness in relationships, but Venus in Pisces is really good for finding ways to feel connected spiritually, whether that's to the world, the universe, to some kind of faith. This is a really good time to tap into that and realize that it's a form of self-love too. I think, like I said, Pisces risings are probably going to experience this a little bit more heavy with themselves, like having to choose between themselves and other people. Virgo risings are definitely going to be experiencing that push and pull between what they should do for themselves and they should do for other people. And, it's just very interesting. Like I said, Virgo Pisces are obviously sister signs for a reason. They're very opposite. And so Virgos need to kind of learn how to be less sacrificing, while Pisces need to learn, okay, it's okay to be a little self-sacrificing sometimes. And it's okay to let other people be self-sacrificing at the same time as well. So yeah, Venus is going to be retrograding back into Pisces, but don't worry. It's all going to be fine, I think. Don't quote me. Don't quote me if things aren't good. Don't quote me. And then things are going to get even more fun because we are going to experience the new moon partial solar eclipse in Aries. So this is going to be like the last eclipse in Aries that we have for a while. And just know that these effects are going to happen up to 6 months after the eclipse. So we're experiencing this March 29th. That means that by September, hopefully the lessons that we've needed to learn from the Aries Libra eclipses have settled in. And now we're just going to start taking on the lessons that Virgo Pisces is trying to teach us. But we're going to feel a little bit more focused on our own personal plans, our independence, and really learn to assert ourselves during this time. Like I said, Aries is all about new beginnings, but we can only start new beginnings if we're willing to end old chapters. And so we'll need to make some final decisions about some things in our life to make room for the new. I think, too, this eclipse is showing us where we haven't been true to ourselves, where we've allowed other people to encourage or force us to do certain things or say certain things. And Aries is all about individuality. So yes, it's important to cater to other people and what they feel and what they think, but it's okay to put yourself first too, girl. And that's what Aries is going to tell us all throughout Aries season. March 29th, too, along with that new moon solar eclipse, we are going to experience Mercury retrograding back into Pisces. So not only is Venus retrograding back into Pisces, but Mercury is too. And our relationships are just going to love this because with Mercury in Pisces, Mercury is actually in fall in Pisces, which means that Mercury does not like being in Pisces. Like, girl, that energy is not working for me. And this is because Mercury is the natural ruler of Virgo. Like I said, it's sister sign. So there's a lot of push and pull, indecision when it comes to communication, and really just daydreaming a lot, not being grounded in reality, focused on the wrong things, basically. And with Venus right there too, there's just gonna be so much energy. It's like we got the sun in Aries, we're gonna have this new moon in Aries, but then we're gonna have Mercury and Venus in Pisces. And people always say that Pisces is like the most evolved version of Aries because Aries starts the astrological calendar, and then as Aries develops, it becomes Taurus and it becomes Gemini and so on and so forth, all the way until you get to Pisces. And I think that Pisces tend to have a higher mind But all that thinking sometimes is not necessary. And that is why we learn from Aries to just make a decision, like be quick on your feet. Yes, Aries can be impulsive, but Pisces will wait forever. And so we may feel some kind of slowdown in our communication, in our relationships, just because we've been moving so fast with Mercury and Venus being in Aries. And then it's like, wait, hold on. We got to relax a little bit. Think about the decisions we've been making. Is this what we want to do? Is this what we want to say? What is best for me? These are all things that are going to come up with Mercury being in retrograde in Pisces. And then finally, on March 30th, Neptune. Yes, you heard it. Neptune is going to enter Aries as well. So even more Aries energy, which y'all are probably like, girl, why? And this is a little bit more clash of energies because Neptune is the natural ruler of Pisces. So we still got that Pisces Aries energy going on. And Neptune is a planet of dreams, illusions, our imagination, while Aries is action, initiation, and courage. So there's like a unique blend of energies where it can be kind of challenging, but also inspiring at the same time. We're very introspective, but now we need to put those things into action. Start to take the steps to really shake shit up and just fucking go for it. Excuse my language, but I feel like, Aries is just all about owning it and just doing it. And with Pisces backing us up here a little bit, we're a little bit more willing to take risks to pursue our goals, but at the same time have like a creative energy that's pushing us. It's important though that we stay grounded because with Neptune moving into Aries, we can be very unrealistic with our expectations and try to escape reality. Like I said, Aries is very fast moving and sometimes Neptune can't keep up, So although this is a really good time for exploration and discovery and embracing our inner artist, it's important that we learn to trust our intuition and follow our dreams and not disconnect from reality too much. So that's the end of March. Aries season doesn't end until April 19th. So we got about 5 more transits to go. If you've been seeing me look down this entire time, I promise I'm just looking at my notes, Yes, I know these things, but I can't keep all this information in my head at once. I have to write things down. That's my Mercury Pisces. I have to write things down. Speaking of Pisces, though, on April 7th, Mercury will go direct in Pisces and finally give us a little bit of relief. It's like, okay, we've done all this thinking. We've been all this action. Now we can think a little bit more clearly. Although Mercury still is in fall in Pisces, at least with it in retrograde, it's not like a double whammy. We're a little bit more imaginative and we want to learn things. Although we're not really thinking in a linear path, we're still able to process what's important by the end of Mercury being in Pisces. I think Mercury being in Pisces is a little bit romantic too. Mercury Pisces people are very good with their words. I can't always say that about myself, but I think that although it's in fall, like Mercury is in fall when it's in Pisces, I think that there is again like a unique blend of energies where Mercury is communication, but I think that Pisces can elevate it a little bit with our heightened intuition and our ability to choose words wisely. I think too, with Mercury going direct, we'll have a lot less miscommunication, which will be nice and like a little break from all this chaotic energy. But I think this will also be a really good time to do some writing or journaling. I always say that, and like I said, I'm a Mercury Pisces, so that's always my solution to stuff. Do a tarot reading, do some journaling, go for a walk, feel the air on my skin, feel the sun on my skin. That is usually what I do to cope with things. But with Mercury and Pisces, we'll be a little bit more creative is what I mean. So we'll have a little bit more of an outlet to express ourselves accordingly. April 12th, though, full moon in Libra, which is a pink moon. And they call it pink moon because it's the first moon of the astrological calendar. It does tend to have like a pinkish hue, but I don't think you can see it with your naked eye. Don't quote me. I am an astrologer, not an astronomer. So I wouldn't know. But with the full moon in Libra, I think there's going to be a lot of energies, especially with relationships. Libra is literally ruled by Venus, which is like beauty, art, relationships, art, aesthetic. And I think we're trying to find some kind of equilibrium between ourselves and other people, especially when it comes to emotions. I think it also kind of opens us up to new interactions. So it may be possible to experience some new things or new people during this time. But at the same time, there may be some kind of chapter ending, whether that's like an end of a relationship dynamic or an end of a partnership, whether business or personal, but all for good reasons. Or maybe an end of the way that we think about ourselves in relation to other people. Libra is a sign that unfortunately does a lot of comparison. Like Libra always tries to see everybody's point of view. If you meet someone with prominent Libra placements and you're trying to complain to them about, oh, this person did this and I don't understand why they treat me like that, they'll always be the person to be like, well, maybe they're just dealing with this. And, they'll always try to see the other side. And it's like, girl, me as an Aries, I'm like, I'm just trying to rant. Do not try to validate this person's emotions. Validate mine. But that's kind of cool about Libras too, is the fact that they can like see things from other people's point of view. I think too, we're kind of looking for intimate bonding right now, although our trust issues will be kind of heightened a bit. But although we might have a hard time expressing ourselves in our romantic relationships or maybe just in our friendships too, just know it's better to say it than to not. I think one thing Libra can learn from Aries is just how to stand on business. If I'm being honest, Libras are very flip-floppy and like they'll say a lot of things, but sometimes lack action. And that's where Aries is like, okay, girl, time to take the next move. Time to just take the next step because you've been talking about it for a long time now. April 15th, Juno will go retrograde in Scorpio. And this is the asteroid of marriage, love, soulmates, twin flames, jealousy, commitment. I don't know if y'all know mythology much, but Juno in mythology was a very loyal and committed partner. She unfortunately was with Jupiter, who was like a serial cheater, essentially. And, eventually she got fed up and she tried to find ways to get revenge, but he would always like retaliate. Like he wouldn't let her be with anybody else, like just really toxic relationship. And although Juno tells us about being loyal and committed, it also tells us about how we feel betrayed by other people. There's a little bit of a shadow side to that, and like how we attach to other people or where we experience power struggles or maybe where we experience emotional abuse in our relationships. And with Juno going retrograde in Scorpio, we're definitely going to have a hard time expressing ourselves in relationships. We're definitely going to have a lot more trust issues and have a really hard time believing what people say. I think Scorpio too, we're kind of digging beneath the surface a little bit and trying to find out the truth. But sometimes you just got to let the truth unravel. Scorpios sometimes go looking for problems. Like, okay, this person's acting weird and now I got to figure out why. And then like we get our own feelings hurt. I say we because I'm a Scorpio rising. We get our own feelings hurt by digging beneath the surface. And it was like, okay, yeah, glad I have that information now and I can move accordingly. But that kind of hurt, the fact that I had to go out of my way to find out the truth. And honestly, I think Juno will definitely illuminate a lot of the issues and the things that we're committed to. So be prepared for that. April 16th, Mercury will finally move back into Aries. It's finally direct. And again, we're going to go around in circles with this energy because it's like we're being direct, then we're being avoided, and now we're being direct again. Mercury in Aries is straight to the point. We can feel a little bit more impatient and reckless. This is a great time, though, for starting new lines of communication with people, whether this is for like business or personal. Aries is a yapper, 1,000%. You can never, like, once you get an Aries talking, it's very hard to get them to shut up. Like, very much so. I do have Aries qualities. Don't get me wrong. I can be a yapper, but my Scorpio sometimes is like, girl, you do not need to say that. And not all Aries placements got placements like Scorpio to be like, keep that to yourself. Keep that to yourself. It's okay. You don't have to share everything. Because Aries will just say it without thinking. It's like they didn't even mean to say it, but now they said it and now it's out there. So that's kind of like the energy that we'll be experiencing with Mercury and Aries. We'll feel really bored easily, whether this is in relationships or projects. Like, we'll jump from one idea to the next because, you know, we're excited because we have all these cool ideas, but we kind of lack follow through a little bit. So pay attention to that. However, it's really important to embrace your instincts and really just let the universe guide you with Mercury and Aries. It also kind of challenges us to view the world a little bit differently. So maybe some perspective changes as well. Okay, last but not least, April 18th, Mars is going to go into Leo. Mars was in retrograde in Cancer for a little bit, but we're tired of that energy. We don't need all the sadness, all the pessimism. Like, Mars does not like to be in Cancer at all. Mars is Aries, right? Aries and Cancer, yes, both cardinal signs, they can take initiation, but you will not hear an Aries whine the way that a Cancer would. And Aries is like, well, I got to do it, so I'm going to do it. Cancer is like, oh, but I don't really want to do it. And I just feel like it's just too much, you know? So with Mars moving into Leo, this is some intense energy. Like, we want to be recognized, we want to express ourselves, and maybe we want to take on some leadership roles too. We're really wanting to accomplish a lot right now, whether this is like in creative pursuits or maybe in your career. There's a lot of passion in our relationships. You also may experience like a heightened libido just because there's just like a sense of excitement with pursuing romance. And I really just think that this is going to be the energy that we need after coming out of Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, eclipse season, like all this really contemplating what's next in our relationships. And Mars is just going to come in and be like, F that, let's just have a good time. And it's kind of nice to have like an upbeat period after feeling so low and emotionally drained. Like, Mars is very action oriented and it's very just like, let's get into it. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I think it'll pick up everybody's spirits once Mars goes into Leo, especially with it in the same sign with it trine to the sun for a little bit before we move into Taurus, which will just then again slow down the energy. So that is Aries season for you. I tried not to make this video too long. I tried to not, but I think I'm hitting about 30 minutes again after I do all my editing and stuff. Hopefully this was enjoyable to you. Sometimes when I record this, I'm just like talking at myself, and do people watch this? I don't know. Well, shout out to those of you that do and who've made it to the end of this video. Happy Aries season. I think it's gonna be fun, but it's gonna be chaotic. Just know that, like, good times, but also thinking about the bad times, you know? We want to be able to focus on the good, yes, but we need to learn our lessons from the bad. And, I think that's just what this Aries season is going to teach us. So thank you again for watching. If you've not already, please check out my other videos. I talk about the full moon and the effects of the eclipse. I also think that if you have any suggestions about videos you want to hear, please comment below. I'm always interested to see what my followers want to hear about, because that kind of helps me guide my videos a little bit more. I'm just making these videos based off of what I want to hear, so it'd be nice to hear y'all's input. So yeah, thank you again, and follow, like, subscribe. I think my handles are in the description. I'm just going to say yes, they are. I'm going to make sure that I put them in there. So thanks again, y'all. Happy Aries season.